Welcome back, everybody. We gotta start getting piecemeal here prepped for paint. I want to show you how to do it. Cheap paint job. It's worked for me. Done a couple cars with it. Very first step you want to do, gotta get it clean. So pull it back outside. If you're already outside, even better. And wash the whole car down. And because you don't want to be going sanding and rubbing grease right down into the finish, and then you won't even see it. But if you get dirt and if you get grease, mainly grease and oils and stuff down inside the finish, you'll paint it. If it doesn't show up immediately, over time it will. It's going to blister and that paint's going to fail at that location. So you want to get it clean. Now, I recommend do not use your car wash stuff, whatever you got, Armor All or Turtle Wax or whatever else. Don't use that stuff. There's too many chemicals and stuff in it, and it's not going to take off any of the grease and oils that you want to get off. I like to use Dawn dish soap. If you're just doing a panel area, you can use window cleaner. Get some good, just straight Windex. No additive stuff, extra additive stuff in it. Windex, vinegar, something that's not going to leave nothing behind. But like I said, I like to use Dawn dish soap. So I actually pulled this out the other day and I scrubbed the whole car down with the Dawn. And when I mix up the water, a gallon of water in a 5-gallon bucket or whatever, put enough soap in it so it's still blue, light blue. I mean, you don't want pure concentrate, but blue, so you're getting a real good concentration of soap. And do the whole thing. Get any oil, grease, whatever off of it. Now I'm actually going to have to pull it back out eventually, because once you're done sanding and stuff, and before you get ready to paint, you got to wash it again. And I know what you're thinking, bare metal and whatnot, but calm down. It's all right. It's normal. You got to do it because you're going to wipe down the car anyway. So anyway, step one, wash the car. Get your dirt and grease off. And we got that done, taken care of. Now I know this was already sanded once before. It could have been a lot better. I was getting some really crappy weather days and I was kind of running out of time. And I wanted it together, so I quick, scuffed it up and slapped this primer on it. Some spots were really good. I had them nice, and other panels weren't so much. Maybe you ain't got no air tools, I've used quarter sheet sanders and had good luck with them. And like a DA sander, you want dual action. This thing's not just spinning completely around. It's kind of wobbling around. It lessens your chance of swirl marks. And where do I got it? There it is. Now I do have some air tools. I know this pad is a little too big for this. And this one's been on there a while. And they do like to stick. Get rid of that one. You see she's been dropped a few times. Not by me. I bought it like that. Sale fine. No matter what sander you're using, you're going to want to watch. Let the sandpaper do the work. You don't need to be in here with no matter which one you got and digging around like a nut job. You're going to kill your sandpaper, number one, and take that right out. And number two, you're going to put a lot of heat into the panel. Because remember, it's friction. So you're going to put a lot of heat in the panel, and that's how you can get the old warp action going on. So you got to watch your heat. If you feel it's starting to warm up a little too much in one area because you're kind of working it back and forth, move over. Move over a little bit. Let that one cool down a little bit, because you don't want to put a lot of heat in this because you will warp the panel. Older cars, it's a little thicker. So you have a little more leeway for play there. Newer cars are a lot thinner, so it'll happen a lot quicker. Watch your heat, like I said. And then the other thing you want to do, You do not need a block that's 16 inches long. You know, it's going to help you for longer panels, you know, to get straight. Make sure you're straight and you're flat. But you can get the little ones. I think I got one back here. Can't find my little block. Don't know where that's at. But you can see they make all different kinds. Flexible ones. You can even get little sanding blocks that are foam that help you with corner edges and stuff. If I really got to get something down, I'll start off with an 80 grit and then stage yourself up to get to like a 400. That's usually what I shoot for primer. You don't want to go too high. You don't want to go to like 800, 1,000 on your very first stage here. Because, oh man, I got it silky smooth, you know, like a baby's behind. You got to have some teeth for the primer to bite. So if you take it down too smooth, you're going to have some adhesion problems with your primer. I mean, I'm not saying right away, but I mean, maybe down the road you go hitting that thing with a pressure washer at a car wash or something. And oh, here's another thing. Start on one panel at a time. I think I'm probably going to start on the back quarter over there. But start on one panel at a time. That way you don't overwhelm yourself. You don't want to be going bouncing around here like a crackhead or something, you know. Do one panel at a time. Get one panel smooth, perfect that one panel, move on to your next section, and then so on and so forth. If it frustrates you, walk away for an hour and come back to a day, something, whatever works. Stare at it, but it just doesn't seem to get done by itself. One thing you might want to do if you ain't got a dust collection system, where's I just put it down. You know, if you get yourself your electric little DA there, you know, it has the holes, has its own little dust collection system. That will help to keep some dust down. You can line up your holes, wear a mask, that'll help you. What you can also do is, I mean, if you're not dealing with a lot of bare steel and stuff, if you are, use the mask or don't, you know, whatever you decide to do. You can get yourself a garden hose, trickle of water, you keep it damp. It'll help any dust to kind of clump up, and then you just rinse the panel off. You can do it with a spray bottle, sponge, whatever works, a rag with some water in it, and a bucket. You know, something to keep it wet. Just keep your dust down. The other thing, watch whatever edges. You see how, like, we got this edge here. I mean, edges are everywhere on cars. Anytime you got like an edge, a ridge, or anything else, you know, a body line, the paint's going to naturally be thinner there. It's just how it's sprayed. So always watch your edges, because you will burn through the paint super quick, especially if you don't want to get it down to bare steel. You know, you'll take that, burn that edge off real quick. And you always gotta, if you end up like, let's say right here, I see a spot, I go digging here, and I'm down the bare steel right here, and you can see the layers of paint, you know, primer, paint, primer again, and paint, depending on how many, if it was painted before or not. Well, now you got a low spot there, and you can take your finger and you'll feel that edge, and you don't want that, because it's going to stand out like a sore thumb. You know, when you go painting the car, you'll see that little ridge. So then you're going to end up having a smooth, you know, take farther in the bare steel just to take that ridge out, take that edge off, and smooth her out. I'll show you. We'll get there. I think I might have to get out the old angle grinder here with the worn out flat disc and rub here. It really popped through with some rust for some reason. I think it was rusty there before, and I cleaned it all down, all out, got it all clean, but obviously freaking awesome primer. You can also get them little sanders, like the little air sanders, and then, you know, with a little 1-inch pad or whatever, and be able to really finesse down in here. That's probably your better bet. I don't have one of those. Or if I do, I haven't found it yet, so. This is why you save those worn out flap discs. They come in handy when you need something a little aggressive, but not too aggressive. Here's what I mean by the layers. You can see that there was primer, paint, primer, you know, and different layers throughout. And I'm gonna have to clean all this rust out and treat this area. If there's any holes, I gotta fix it. And one good thing to do here, which I'm not too concerned about, but I might do it as I get down in here. Whatever, I mean, this is rubber. I don't have no trim on here right now. Whatever trim you got, if you got any rings, like there was trim here, you know, and there's trim over here, tape all this up. You know, tape your edges. And then that way, then if you come by and you accidentally hit it with, well, not the block, but if you hit it with whatever, you know, this, and you know, just wheel. Tape gives you an extra layer of protection there. It'll help save your trim or your rubber. You know, put 2 layers on, whatever you need to do. Now you can see right here what a high spot will look like is they had some kind of antenna mounted here. And I could feel it's rough right here, so right here is low. And then obviously right there and right here is high, right on the edge. Because if I'm going over it, I can feel it with the block. But you can see it. Like I said, there was a hole right here. And I welded a little, I think it was a washer. Actually, I think I used a washer, but I welded a washer in here. And I thought I had it smooth down. Apparently I did not. I have it slightly high here and right here is a low spot because it's still rough. The sandpaper has not cut this at all. So this is, I looked underneath the trunk here. This is definitely where I have my washer plug welded right here. And I must have warped the panel just a hair when I did it, and that's why I have this little low spot here. So I'm not really going to probably be able to dolly this one out. And then I don't want to have a dimple or another high spot in it. So I'll probably get some filler there. I have it right in front of the car here. And we're going to light skim coat this. Now, calm down. I know what you're thinking. Oh, filler, you know, Bondo machine. That's not what I'm talking about here. Everything has filler in it. Some type of filler. You know, a little spot to smooth it over. It's normal. Some old cars use lead. Everything's got filler. You want a straight panel, you're gonna do a little bit. It's gonna be, like I said, a skim coat. By the time that little bit's on here, now I'm only dealing with a spot that's probably like 2 inches wide here. But you're gonna end up seeing it, and it's gonna look like it's a 6-inch patch right here. But no, to get it smooth the whole way, you need, you know, to feather the edge out. But in reality, where it's low right here, and let me see. Yeah, that's straight enough. So I could set this straight edge here. I could see my exact low spot. It's bare. You're lucky if it's barely going to be even a 1/16 of an inch of filler right here. So it's, you know, it's going to look massive and huge, and it's not. Trust me. If anything, it's going to be like a 1/16 of an inch, if that. I don't even think it's that. I might actually just try pushing that up. Maybe just dollying it up a little bit. Maybe I can get that out completely without even using filler. You don't want to go thick with filler. Don't go globbing filler on. You want it as light, as thin, as humanly possible. Number one, it's going to be easier to sand, get off, smooth out, and be good to go. Number two, if you make it too thin, it doesn't cure right. It can shrink, it can crack. You're going to have a mess on your hands. Trust me. Don't ask me how I know, but trust me. I like to keep air around. I like to blow it off my pad. That way I don't get no chunks there and drag marks and everything else. Find it helps you with most anything. I say various pieces of hose. This was a radiator hose, or no, this was actually a gas filler neck hose. I had to cut down a little bit. But I say various pieces, and you want to smooth something out, and you got a slight curvature. And I'll use this because it's still flat, but it's curved, and it will fit in the groove. Take your time, but the better you do the prep, the better your final results will be. One good thing you can do as well, get yourself a marker, and as you're going along in any spot you find, give it a mark. I'm going to give it, an H, an H for high, or an L for low, or whatever have you. Whatever you want to do. You can see where I've gotten so far this afternoon here. Like I said, to do it right, it takes a while. It takes a while. Now you know why paintwork is so expensive. Hopefully I gave you a couple decent pieces of information in this video. So thanks for watching. Give a like, subscribe, share, and catch you on the next one. We're getting her done.